everybody, it's Allison, and today we're going to be working through some yoga. This is the start of a series of yoga videos for one of my clients, and we're going to sprinkle in as many resistance stretches as we can to get a little bit more out of the poses. Remember, yoga is about balance in your mind, body, and your breath, and so we'll be doing a little bit of breath work as well, but if that gets confusing, just try to mimic what I'm doing and listen to my cues, and maybe you'll learn a little bit about yoga if you don't know anything about it. Okay, we're going to start on the mat. On our hands and knees. I have some blocks here. You don't need the blocks. I like to have them around. So we're just starting hands and knees. Hands underneath the shoulders and knees underneath the hips. Round your back and curl your tailbone under. This is your exhale. And then drop the belly. Let your chest just drop through your arms. Tilt the tailbone up. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Find as much length as you can in your spine. Balance on your right knee and your left arm. Shoot your left leg back and your right arm forward. Stretch as far as you can from your toes to your fingertips. And try not to let your back arch and your foot kick up. So we want to maintain a neutral spine. This is your inhale. And then as you drop, you would exhale. And then shoot your opposite leg behind you, left arm forward. Stretch from heel to fingertips. Inhale and exhale. And we'll move from side to side now. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Imagine you're climbing a giant ladder that in between the rungs is too far for you to reach, and you have to get up on your tippy toes and stretch up with your fingertips. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. This time, stretch back, bend your back knee, reach around with your arm, see if you can touch your toe. If not, no problem. And then release. And switch sides. So stretch, bend, reach back, see if you can find your toe, and release. And we'll try that again, each side. If you can hook the foot, push. And one more time. Each side. Hook, push. Again, this touching the toe is optional. Just balancing on one leg and one arm and moving around is a little core strength, so this is good. And release. And now we're going to do an earth salute. So this is also a therapeutic exercise for your back and your psoas. So I'm going to move my hands just out just a little bit, but mostly underneath my shoulders. I'm going to tilt my tailbone up, press my hips back, push forward with my hands, come back, trying to push my hips straight back, not rounding the back, and then up again. We'll do that a couple times before we get to the full earth salute. So push the hips straight back behind you, use your hands, and back up. This would be your inhale, exhale, inhale. And then we're going to add a downward dog. And exactly the same motions of pushing your hips. I'm almost thinking tailbone up behind me versus rounding the back. We're going to come into a downward dog. So tuck your toes under, lift your hips, push with your hands, push your hips straight back, And then see if you can unfold your legs a little bit. We don't want to unfold the legs so much that the back rounds. That's a no-no. I'd rather have your knees bent and your back as flat as possible. Focus on opening the shoulder blades and pressing through the fingertips. And then come back again. Tailbone up, shoot the tailbone back behind you, press with the hands. Exhale. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, all fours. And exhale, shoot the hips back behind you. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. We'll do a few more rounds. Breathing is up to you. One more round. And then we're going to park it here and pedal the heels into the mat by bending one knee and then bending the other. We'll add a little bit of resistance stretch here. Bring your big toes closer to each other. Lift your left leg high. Lift and lower the right heel. The higher you lift your left leg behind you, the more you're going to feel this stretch in the right calf, which is what we're looking for. So just lift and slowly lower. Lift and slowly lower. And then we'll switch sides. If you need to take a little breather, we can do that. Just come back to child's pose. You can open your knees a little bit if that makes it more comfortable for you. Relax your head on the mat. Take a few breaths. If your head doesn't touch the mat, you can use a block underneath your forehead. There is a relaxing effect to having your forehead resting on something. And then we'll come back up, tuck the toes under, press back to downward dog, and lift the right leg. Again, as you lift your right leg, we want to keep the back as flat as possible. Lift and lower the left heel. If you've got sweaty hands, you can always put a towel halfway under your hands and leave the back part of your palm on the mat. It helps a lot. Just lift and lower. And lift and lower. And then come back down, hands and knees. And we're going to do a wrist stretch. This is a wrist and forearm stretch. I'm going to come forward and put my hands upside down. I'm not putting all my weight on my hands. I've just got my whole hands turned upside down. I'm going to press with the back of my fingertips into the mat and turn my elbows out and in. I don't know if you can see that motion, but this is a forearm stretch. And then you can push with your fingertips and tip forward and then pull back. And this is where I like to wrap the pointy part of the elbow behind me. Coming forward, press with the fingertips and pull back. And then flip it over. Tuck your toes under. Press back to downward dog. And then walk your feet toward your hands. We want to bend the knees a little bit because I don't want a whole lot of rounding in your back. And especially if you get to here and you can't touch the floor, please use your blocks or hands on your shins. And then with your hands on your shins, you're going to lift your chest. Pull the shoulder blades together and down the back. So we have a flat back as much as possible. I'm sticking my butt out as much as I can. And then from here, bend your knees a lot, lift your chest, and rise to standing. Inhale, arms up, join your palms. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. We're going to step back with the left foot into a warrior one. So if you've never done warrior one, I am no expert. I am a yoga instructor, registered, so that I can say, but we'll go with the basics. So the foot alignment usually is the most important part. The inside edge of the front foot should be straight in line with the long, wise grain of the mat. The back foot, we don't want it turned out too much to the side, so lift your heel and spin it back around, draw the left hip forward and set it down as best you can. It should be a little bit of a struggle to get the heel down. The foot doesn't have to be completely straight, but it should be maybe like 45-degree angle out to the side. We've got the front knee bending. I am pushing forward with my front foot and reaching back with my back heel. It should feel like you're trying to stretch the mat. And then bring your arms up. If this is not comfortable for you, bring your arms out to the side. Sometimes I like to add a little variation here, take my hands behind my head, push my head into my hands, and then pull the shoulder blades together and down the back. So that is warrior one. We're going to add a little bit of resistance stretching here. So we're going to take our warrior one into a tipping bird. I'm going to take my block, put it out front, and I'm going to balance on my right leg. I'm balancing on my right leg. If you need a chair or something for balance for this one, or a wall, that's fine. Go get your chair and just come back to it. And then I'm going to reach down with my left hand, shoot my left leg back behind me until I feel a stretch, and then come back up. Stretch it down, and then back up. I'm almost turning my shoulders to the right. We want the body to move in one unit, so the back leg goes up as the chest goes down. This is excellent balance training as well as a stretch. And a few more times. And then we'll come back to standing. Inhale up. Exhale, fold forward. Use your hands to help you if you have a tender back or back issues, and walk yourself down. I'm going to walk my feet back into my downward dog. Shift my weight forward to a plank and drop my knees. Bend the elbows, come all the way down to the mat. Roll the shoulders down and back. Lift the chest. Try to keep the toes touching the mat and press the hips, the pubic bone down. And draw the chest forward. I'm almost pulling with my hands to draw my chest forward. And then release and press back. I'm rolling over my knees, tucking the toes under, and pressing back to downward dog. And walk the feet toward the hands. back to the front of the mat. Now some of you might know yoga really well. You can jump forward if you like. I've got my hands on my shins for support. Lift the chest. Bend the knees a lot. Rise up to standing flat back. Inhale, arms up. Join the palms. And exhale, hands to your heart. And then we'll do warrior one on the other side. So step straight back with your right foot. Again, the back toes are out to the side just a little bit. If you end up here, just lift the heel up and turn it back. And then the inside edge of the front foot is paralleling the lengthwise grain of the mat. My knee is pushing forward as I'm pushing my whole leg forward and my stretching back through the right heel. And the arms go up. Try to relax your shoulders, belly in. Try to breathe. This is a passive stretch for the back calf and also the hip flexor, but by pressing down the heel behind you, you should activate the front of the shin. So in a way, it's a little bit more of a reciprocal inhibition happening. By contracting the front of the shin, the calf is able to stretch a little bit better. And then from warrior one, I'm going to circle the arms around behind me, grab my block, put it forward, balance on the left leg, and we'll do the tipping bird on the other side. Again, my back leg, my right leg is going back. My chest is moving down at the same time. A lot of people have a tendency to drop the chest here just to get farther to the floor, but we want the back leg to go with the body and then reach down and rise up. And we'll do about 7 or 8 of these. I'm reaching down with the right hand, trying to keep my hips as square as possible. You don't have to touch the block. It's just you stop when you feel a stretch in your hamstring. And again, find a chair, something to hang on to if you need it. I've lost track of my tipping birds. I like to just do these until I feel like either my leg's getting tired, my foot's getting tired, my calf is getting tired, or I just feel like I'm getting loosened up, limbered up. Good. And then go ahead and step your feet together. Inhale up. Exhale, fold forward. Grab your blocks or a chair, and we're going to go into pyramid. So we're going to step back with the left foot into that warrior one position that we started with. But we're going to take this into another pose called pyramid. So we've already kind of warmed up the hamstring area a little bit, and now we're going to do a passive stretch with a little bit of resistance. So I want you to pull your right hip back, push into the ball of the right foot, stretch the chest forward, and tilt the tailbone up. If you need more, this is a great one to do with the chair. Even the back of the chair is nice. That way you can stay here a little bit longer. So I'm pushing with the ball of my foot into the floor. I'm pulling the left hip forward, drawing the chest forward, and enjoying the stretch. And then we'll bend the knee rise back up, step the feet together, and step back with the opposite foot. Warrior one. And then your pyramid pose, either with your hands on the blocks. Stretch the chest forward, press with the ball of the foot into the mat. Draw the right hip forward and the left hip back. And again, if this makes it easier for you, you could even take a block and put it under your head. The goal here is to try, to do those actions. Press the ball of the foot into the mat, draw the chest forward, bring the right hip forward as much as you can, but not to try so hard that you're sweating and your breath is become erratic. We want to try to relax into it a little bit. So try just hard enough so that you're not feeling mentally fatigued and physically fatigued. And then rise back up. Bring the knees together, feet together. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to your heart. And I think that's about does it for today. The next video will be a continuation. So I hope you enjoyed this and many more to come of the yoga series. Please like, subscribe.